Hello, everybody. This is the Schmo. Thanks for tuning into the Schmozone podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Fusion CBD. Fusion CBD's got some of the best CBD products on the market using hemp extract. All their stuff is third-party tested, whether you want it from your coffee beans, when you want it from your vape pens, when you want it for sleep, when you want it for recovery, when you got it for your athletic, mineral, water. Fusion CBD has it all. Use the promo code SCHMO at checkout to get 20% off. Fusion CBD, promo code SCHMO. Get you some.
Welcome back to another episode of the Schmozone podcast here on Fight Island. This is episode number 25. I'm Dave Schmulenson, aka the Schmo.
And I'm Helen Yee Sports.
And he's the number 7 ranked lightweight in the world and the broadcaster.
Yeah.
Paul Felder.
Lots of broadcasting.
Lots of it.
The busiest people here on Fight Island. I feel like you're doing everything, right?
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of things, but I want to give a shout out to the producers and the guys behind the scenes because, every time I work with these guys, Lappy, Zach, Mike Ricci, all these guys that are, man, I don't know how they do it. And John Gooden and John Anik, they have the real job. I get to watch fights and talk about fights. So, yes, I'm busy, but not as busy as these guys behind the scenes, that's for sure.
You had quite a scare getting over here. You thought
Yeah.
you might not have been able to even broadcast
Bro.
at Fight Island. What was that situation like?
Miserable, man, because I was really excited to be here. They're filming this documentary here. Rory, the director, really wanted me to be a big part of it. They flew camera crews out to my house in Philly, filmed me and my girlfriend, my daughter, me saying goodbye, like a whole, the whole thing. And then I got there, and just because I sat next to Dean, I was exposed to COVID-19. I didn't test positive for it. I never even had a false positive. It was always negative. But just to be safe, Dr. D from the UFC, God bless him for looking out for everybody. He didn't want to send me over here and get me stuck here, because if we get stuck here and test positive, it could be 3 weeks, could be 4 weeks, could be however long it takes for you to run it out of your system and not test positive. Stressful time. I'm here. I'm talking to you guys, and it's been great.
What's the documentary?
They're doing a whole Fight Island thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you're part of a whole Fight
Island.
Island.
Yeah, the same crew, the same guys that filmed Dana White's Looking for a Fight, and Rory who does some 30 for 30s and things like that. So I'm kind of running all over the place.
Speaking of Fight Island, what do you think?
I think it's great. Honestly, I know it's a far trip for all of us, but at least once you're here, you feel pretty secure knowing how many times we've all been tested. Yeah. Seeing the precautions they go through with having us in this certain radius. There's different restaurants. It's nice to have a few hotels that if you want to pop over and grab a drink over there, which is I think what we're planning on doing tonight, is going to like Crown Plaza and getting a couple beers or something just to get the freak out of here, man.
We have a media dinner tonight over at the golf course. Which
Yeah, I heard that was cool too. Yeah,
I'm pretty stoked about that.
I may grab a beer or two.
Yeah, I'm fucking, man.
I might put down
I
3
need
or
it.
4.
The way we're sweating too, like you slam a few beers afterwards. That's all you need. You don't need to be getting too deep into the drinking because of the amount of sweat that we're all losing.
Third podcast here on Fight Island for us. All 3 podcasts so far. Ricky Simone, Uriah Faber, and now you.
Yeah.
I've walked back and forth between us over at the Stay Bridge to here 15 minutes in this heat and humidity. Every time we're doing this, I'm soaked through my shirt.
But how are you wearing a sweater?
Sweatshirt.
Because when I'm inside here, if I'm not
you're
going
cold,
outside,
okay.
I'm freezing. But you're right. As soon as you step outside, I would sweat through this in a matter of 2 minutes probably. But when I'm in here, especially the garage, that restaurant here, it's freezing.
Oh,
it's
is
always
cold,
freezing.
yeah.
So I always wear this just in case.
This is a man-made island, and how much electricity are they pumping through this to keep the AC on, the lights on, all over this island? It's amazing.
I can only imagine, because everywhere, the air this time is ridiculous, especially in the arena. When I fought here last year in September, not so much.
Yeah, I heard
It
about
was
that.
step outside. Imagine having a fist fight outside in that, without the sun at least. But.
So how surprised were you after fighting here last September and now commentating here? What the difference is between the hospitality and temperature? I'm sure the hospitality is the same.
Yeah,
But the temperature and the accommodations they're making in the arena, what's the difference?
Well, the arena, way better. The whole setup, they had time to figure it out. Feels nice. Obviously, they don't have to worry about an audience other than, I think, that one little section where there's like 5 chairs, social distance apart. So, yeah, I love the setup in there. I love how we have like the ESPN desk pretty much, and then the local television.
Abu Dhabi TV.
The Abu Dhabi Sports TV. So it's been awesome, man. The hospitality is the same. When I was here in September, everybody would just go above and beyond anything you needed. People that were just locals here were reaching out to Bilal Muhammad, who was my teammate, and they were obviously stoked to have him here and fighting in a Muslim country like this. So it was a big moment for him, and I got to kind of just tag along with him and these guys that helped him out.
Well, last weekend, I know Jared Gordon, you were doing double duty. Kind of
My
talk
God.
about that experience.
So that was a crazy experience because Jared, obviously, his whole team tested positive, but he kind of saw the writing on the wall and had left and went to separate himself just in case he didn't want to be around it at all. And God forbid he did, because then everybody around him is testing positive. His girlfriend or fiance tested positive. She had other complications in her life. So, he talked about the miscarriage. So much going on for this guy, man. When it rains, it pours for Jared. But he's so mentally tough. He kept it together. And it looked like I wasn't going to get here for him, but I got here just in time to do the last little bit of his weight cut. So the rest of it was all him, training in his room, making sure that he stayed on the diet, even though he's got room service 24 hours a day, can get whatever he wants delivered to the room. A man didn't. He had a lot of weight to cut, but we got it off. He killed it. And, I got to jump off the commentary desk for a little bit, run in the back, throw on some Reebok. We were hoping we could do the suit.
Yeah, why did you stay in the suit?
I wanted to stay in the suit. But,
Vince Lombardi style.
man, that's exactly what we were thinking. Just old school, like basketball coach or wrestling, and it just they wouldn't let me do it. They didn't have enough answers before I was about to make the walk. And I could tell I was stressing out the outfitting crew. And those guys, they're the best. They're not trying to get themselves in trouble. So I was like, look, I just threw on the Reebok stuff over top.
So I know you were in the corner with him with Extreme Couture's Eric Nixick. And
Yeah.
I know you've been hitting pads with him, building a relationship
Yeah.
with him with all the stuff you're doing at the PI. Was this kind of like a makeshift last second team
Yeah.
in the corner?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Gary Tonin, too. We just,
Yep.
he was already here for Benoit.
Benoit, yeah.
And Eric obviously was here for Dan and Joe Benavides. So it was just like, all right, I've worked with Eric. He's an amazing dude. He'll look out for anybody. That's all he wants to do is help people get better. So him and Jared started talking. He started talking game plan. And the game plan was simple for us. I mean, we all knew and we were all on the same page that get this kid to the ground and beat him up. I mean, Jared's positional wrestling and ground and pound is phenomenal. So he did exactly that, and he executed the game plan perfectly.
But how soon did they ask you to be a part of his corner?
So I'd say about a week and a half, 2 weeks before we went to Fight Island, Jared had mentioned that guys were worried that they had COVID or they were going to go get tested. And he had been tested, I think, twice at that point. He didn't have it, so he was just running and biking at this point. Wasn't even going to the gym and hitting pads with Henry. And we were joking about it. Like, he thought he was going to be able to get somebody over there for him. And I just reached out to Zach Candido, my producer, to see, is it even possible if, God forbid, he needs me? And I made that clear. I was like, it's only if he really needs me. I don't want to mess up the broadcast and try to do too much. But they were like, yeah, if he doesn't have anybody, you can step aside for the broadcast. So we didn't know for sure until probably about the week before the fight.
Last month we had John Anik on our show.
Yeah.
And he talked about the differences between a two-man team and a three-man team broadcast and the nuances about when to talk, when your turn and everything like that. And you juggling two jobs between being a fighter and being a
Exactly.
broadcaster. Kind of what's that situation like? And you working with new people too for the first time and building the chemistry, having the pre-fight interviews.
Yeah.
I know we had our media day last night and next door you guys had your fighter interviews.
Yeah.
What's it like building chemistry with new people and the rapport between a two-man and three-man team?
Yeah, it's definitely a big difference between the 2-man and 3-man, just because obviously if me and you were just talking versus the three of us talking, there's a lot of negotiating going on, unsaid, no non-verbal negotiating between everybody, and having a good play-by-play guy like John Anik or Brendan, or I think these John Gooden, they're all great. So they kind of got to let them lead the dance a little bit, and they'll give certain cues, and that's how like, all right, Mike, and this way you're already engaged, you're listening, and two-man, it's a little more just conversation, a lot more on the color guy to really fill in that space, though. At least when there's two of us, let's say I'm working with DC, he can cover a lot of the wrestling, the grappling. I like to jump in whenever there's any kind of crazy striking or ground and pound going on. So, and like you said, a whole new group. I've never worked with John Gooden and Mike Bisping at the same time. Very strange to get used to at first, and then once you start finding everybody's rhythm, you find your sense of humor, and it's a new show every time, depending on which combinations you're working with.
The only American,
thank you.
Will do, and you're the only American born too on the telecast.
Yeah. Well, that was the reason I kind of got thrown into that situation with Dan Hardy and John Gooden to begin with. Is they wanted to mix in just a third man party with them, and they wanted it to be an American voice, just to kind of you got all the European guys, listening to John and Dan, and then you get a little American flair with me in there, and I loved it. Ever since I started working with those guys, I was like, it's so much fun, and we get to make fun of each other and kind of poke fun at the Brits and the Yanks. It's good times.
It's the best that way. And Bisbing's a good sport. Such a great sense. He was so funny on that
he's
first
a maniac, dude.
looking for a fight with Sarah. He's crazy.
He is crazy, and he truly is one of the few guys that, when we were working the post show, I think for Saturday's show, I was legit crying, laughing at whatever he said. Just the way he said one of the guys' names, and it just got me rolling. And that's what this job is fun for that. Stressful sometimes, but it's good.
Speaking of like the stress, the preparation, what is it like kind of behind the scenes, having to not only prepare for broadcasting, but then you're also training and just juggling everything?
And you're not retired.
And I'm not officially retired. Yes, I'm still accepting offers. Sean Shelby and me, we've talked a few times, so he knows that I'm trying to get a lot of these jobs out of the way, and then further into the year I look to get back in there. But it's tough because I am trying to stay in shape because of that, right? So I'm not just letting myself go on a road. So today I've been getting into a lot of endurance sports and triathlon type stuff. So I'm trying to dip into that a little bit. It's insane, bro.
It's crazy.
So today I did a little brick. So
there you go.
I biked for 15 miles and then jumped off and went on the treadmill, and I could barely get through 5K, man. My legs were but that's the whole point, right? It's to kind of build that. So tough.
Did you invest in a nice road bike, carbon fiber bike?
I don't have it yet. I've been doing all indoor stuff right now, but now I'm hooked. Now I really like doing this stuff.
Clip on shoes and get on the road.
Yeah, it's
What
it's
about
fun.
swimming?
I suck, but I did I swam yesterday for an hour over at the hotel you guys are at. That's a nice little lap
It's a
pool
great
in there.
pool. She's an amazing swimmer.
Yeah,
She's
terrible.
been swimming in there every day.
I'm terrible. I can't do, for as good as my cardio is, I do a few lengths, and I have to take a second and do a few more lengths. So for me to get to a point where I can do a mile, 2 miles, I don't know what I got to do.
It will come. When I was first, like my whole goal, because I got to swim 1.2 miles, because I did up to a half Ironman, I couldn't do more than 4 laps.
Right, and
But
I'm
straight,
dead.
and then you're dead. But then you just slowly build, go in increments of 4 to 8 to 12, 16. Just keep going in 3-4 times. Like I'm the last one who should be saying that. When I have Helen, the child prodigy swimmer, sitting next to me, she could elaborate on that.
Probably so much technique, right?
Yeah,
because I'm probably just
technique.
being so inefficient with my
You have to
movement.
be streamlined with everything.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to work on, is keeping, really making sure as I pull this up, I'm keeping.
Doesn't help when you got like hairy chest and hairy legs too. We're not going to shave our legs for that.
Right,
stuff.
I'm a pretty dense dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've always been told that it feels like you're heavy boned, and I really think I am, and I'm just like, I sink.
But you're getting a suntan though.
Yeah, wow. With SPF 100,000 on me, I don't know if I'm getting much of a suntan. But
It's working. It's looking good for you.
thanks. Yeah.
But when we first, I remember we talked back. Oh man, this was the first ESPN card in February. The first time the Schmo ever interviewed you.
It's got to be 3 years ago.
2018 or 17?
Yeah, at least 18.
Yeah, at least something like that. And I remembered I asked you as the Schmo, I asked you, what weighs more, broadcasting or fighting,
Yeah.
and it was always fighting. Has that kind of teetered a little bit? Are they 50-50 yet? Are they close? Where are we at on that scale?
It's definitely shifted. I mean, let's be honest. That's a couple years ago. I'm just that many years older, and I'm already, when I'm talking to you then, I'm probably already 34, 35. So, 33, 34 probably. I'm 36 now. I bought a house. I'm not saying I'm an old man or settled down completely, but it's definitely, I see broadcasting and I enjoy it a lot more. And especially now that we're not traveling quite as much all over the place. It's either Vegas or here right now. It's kind of actually nice to know where you're going and then you're not traveling all over the world. I miss seeing different cities all over the place, but as far as doing more work consistently, it's been easier. And I'd say we're more 50-50 now, where I'm willing to sacrifice taking fights right now if I've got a busy schedule, because I've taken a lot of beatings, man. I've taken a lot of damage, and at this point in my life, I want to be able to be around for my daughter longer than my 50s.
But the streak continues. Dan Hooker, he lost after fighting.
I know,
Everyone who
my
fights you,
God.
they lose their next
I
fight.
can't believe that's becoming a thing, the curse. But it's true. I mean, everybody that has beaten me, they have lost their next fight.
What's that say about the toughness of you and the damage you do to them in that fight?
Yeah, I think a lot of guys get past me, but nobody has gotten by me without taking some damage. I have definitely lost my share of fights, 5 fights, and a few of them were definitely losses. But most of them 3 of them I think are split decisions. One's a cut stoppage in the 3rd round to Trinaldo. That's probably, if you go back and watch that fight, 1 apiece going into that 3rd round in Brazil. Mike Perry, I got a broken forearm in the 1st round. I drug him to a split decision somehow. I don't even know how I did that one. But, I take a little bit with me. They take a little bit of me, but you're damn sure that I'm bringing a little myself.
And you still wear it well because you look good on the broadcast.
Yeah, thanks God. But if I keep going too long, this face is just going to explode one day. So.
But which fighter would entice you to want to take the next fight?
Really, anybody, in the top 7 above me, right? So you got Dan Hooker rematch. I would absolutely love to get that one back. Tony Ferguson, of course. Justin Gaethje, I'm not going to get it. He's the interim champ. Habib, not going to get it. He's the champ. But that would do. Conor McGregor, obviously, if he ever came back. Who else is up there? I mean, even Ali Aquinta, there's been talk of. I know Diego Fijeda is calling me out. Kevin Lee is a big name. Yeah. Charles Oliveira is now ranked above me. These are all guys that at the right time, they deserve their shot. Even Diego, I see you out there, Diego, calling me out. I don't respond to it because I'm not ready to fight right now. But God bless him. Everybody's calling me. I feel like I can't do a broadcast. Mark Chikasi, he didn't win his fight, unfortunately. Fight of the night, fantastic fight. But they asked him, what would you like next if you get through Fiziev? Sure as shit, I'm sitting right there in the interview room, and he says, "I'd love to fight you."
Easy target. You make yourself a
I'm
bullseye
right there.
when you're right there.
I'm right there. Yeah.
And I know you balloon up after the fights a little bit, and
Yeah.
you're getting up there in age. Do you think 155 permanently is your weight class, or you'd go up at all because of the weight cut? And I know you like to eat.
I do like to eat. You know that. And
Cronuts.
oh my God, they're so good. That's right, in Vegas.
Vegas,
Yeah,
the
you guys
Cronuts.
talked
Oh my
about
God,
Cronuts.
I don't know where that donut spot was they got them from, but they were unbelievable. So the thing is, I think it's 55 because I don't see myself having too many more, right? So to jump up, to start over, the goal has always been to get as close to the belt or get the belt and then be done. And to do that at 70 is just not realistic, and I'd have to start over. Even though I'm a ranked guy at 55, I think I'd get some big names quick, but nah, 55 until the end.
Next month, Dana White's Contender Series starts August 4th, I believe. Every Tuesday, you're scheduled on the broadcast.
Oh, yes.
I know you have a family. I know we're here in Abu Dhabi, Fight Island. Where are you finding the balance to train, to see your family, to do this? Your life is on the road right now.
Yeah, I'm not. It's chaos, and everybody's stepping up their game back home. Christine, who's Ashling's mom, is somebody that obviously it was the mother of my child, and we were separated for probably almost 3 years, and just over the last year we've been working things out. I think we both matured a whole lot, and so I'm back with her. Both really happy, and she's been killing it back home with she's moving into the new house that I bought without, I'm not even there. I've been in Abu Dhabi. I've been doing Fight Island stuff. So we had to get moving companies, and she handled that. My mom helped out. So yeah, I'm relying on a lot of loved ones around me to help balance things out, and they are. And I'll be home for a little bit. So I'll be doing most of the Contender series, if not all of it, and calling at least 2 of the fights that are happening in Vegas.
Yeah.
So I'll be doing a lot of like Tuesday Contender, Saturday Fight Night, following Tuesday, go home for a few days, come back out on Monday, Tuesday Contender, doing the next thing, and so forth and so on. So it's
dedication. Could we see you maybe buying a house in Vegas?
I know, God, at the rate that,
Might as well.
at the rate that things are going, down the line, that's 100% a possibility. And we don't know how this is going to affect. COVID's going to affect broadcasts with the UFC moving on. Could be a couple years before we start really branching out. We might be still fighting consistently, thank God for all of us. But I don't know how consistently it'll be all over the place.
It's interesting, too, because you don't have the plexiglass like they did over at the Apex for the broadcast. You guys, I've noticed, are a little bit closer, too.
Yeah.
Obviously, the testing, the bubble, it works. It's successful here. But what can we do? What can we take from here on Fight Island and bring back to Vegas?
Well, I think the quarantining beforehand and making sure that guys are at least a day or two isolated before letting them out. I think really the private workout rooms for these fighters, so they don't have to share space. They're not around each other. That's been fantastic for these guys to have their own little mat space, their own little saunas, their own tub. I mean, when I did the cut with Jarrett, his workout room was the hotel room next to his room that had a connecting door. So we would just, boom, we go into the sauna. We had a scale in the other room. I had to make him a hot bath. He did the bath. We go right back, check the weight. I mean, that's great for these guys to have teams isolated like that. So I think the more they can do that in Vegas and maybe get a hotel that has a little more room, spread them out, give them their own space, I think that's great.
But we are here for one more card.
One more.
Yeah, which fight are you looking forward to the most?
God, I mean, the main event.
Yeah.
The main event. I love Darren Till. I love Robert Whittaker. Big implications. Who's going to move forward? Could be this. The winner of this is next in line for it. I think.
What about Jared Cannonier?
Yeah.
Everyone's forgetting about
I know,
him.
but he's going through some injury stuff right now,
I think he's healed. I asked Dana in the last presser.
If he's healed, I know Till, and I've even talked to Jack Hermanson. They both agree that he really should be the guy next, because Hermanson lost to him.
Oh, so Till agreed to he should be next.
Well, Till maybe not so much, but
Yeah.
at least recognized the name when it was brought up in some
Yes.
questions. But you know him; he wants to skip the line, and he feels like he's got the star power and the skills to do it. And well, depending on if he goes out there and gets a quick finish, it'd be hard to justify not giving him at least Cannonier next, or.
They were both in great spirits in their pre-fighter interviews.
Yeah.
I can imagine, because they were great for us at Media Day. Who's got the edge psychologically right now? Not skill-wise, because, hey, you can argue 50-50 either way. We can hear it. But who's got the edge?
So I would say just a little bit to Till, right? Because he's not coming off of a knockout anymore, which he was when he faced Masvidal. That was a big, bad knockout. And it's always tough for these guys, and Till talked a lot about this in our interview, that he remembers what it was like. And he is not Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker is his own man. We don't know how he handles those kind of situations. But if I had to pick one, I would say the confidence got to be a little bit there for Till, because he's not coming off of a devastating knockout where, that fight with Izzy really could have done some damage to Robert. And he took the time that he needed to. But that's still right back here, knowing that where's your chin at? How am I doing? So we'll see. But, I mean, Robert's such a tough mental bastard that it might not affect him.
But you mentioned Israel. He and Paulo. I mean, what do you think of that fight?
I love it. I think it's the more skilled fighter, obviously, in Izzy. I think there's no doubt about it that he's the more technical fighter, even everywhere. But that doesn't matter when you have somebody like Costa, who is just a freak of nature, man, and is tough. So not only can he dish out that punishment, we've seen him get hit with some shots. When he fought Romero, just showed that he's got the grit to get in there and and take some beatings to dish it out. And it only takes one shot from him to just change the course of that fight. I love that fight. I can't wait.
It's a great fight. And I just remember the split decision victory he had over Marvin Vettori a few years ago. And Marvin Vettori is a name to look out for in the middleweight division.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's had some great
middleweight division has really, set themselves apart as, it was 55, 70. That was kind of maybe 45. Now, I mean.
Over
even
bantamweight?
35.
Yeah, 35 has been killing it too. But now I think middleweight's up there. You got Till, Whittaker. I mean, Hermansson's making so much noise. Cannonier, the champ. I mean, come on now. Costa. It's insane, the top of that division.
Even Yoel still.
Yoel is always going to be. Nobody wants to fight him.
Nobody does.
You're lying if you say you want to fight him.
That's 100% true. Listen, the Irish Dragon, we totally appreciate your time. We know you're a busy guy. You have to film more of the documentary today. In and out. Glad we can.
Coffee. Lots of coffee.
Lots
that's
of
really,
coffee.
Yeah.
Two different time zones, too.
I know. I don't know when I'm. So tonight, I'm going to try to get back onto the other schedule of sleeping during the day a little bit and staying up all night. So I got melatonin. So when I'm ready to pass out, I'm going to try to take it. See what happens.
But for the coffee, you just drink it straight black coffee, or?
I mix it up. If I'm doing the broadcast and stuff like that, it's usually just black coffee.
Yeah.
Just because I want it bitter, I want it strong. But unfortunately, I've always been a little bit of cream and sugar in my coffee kind of guy, and that's one of the first things that gets cut out when I start cutting weight.
I don't do sugar, but I
the
do a little
cream part.
cream.
No, that's not
I'm
bad.
all black
That's not
coffee.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish.
The bitterness.
I wish I loved it like that, right? Like I wish I woke up and was like, I just want a cup of black coffee, but I'm like, I want a cup of really strong coffee with 2 sugars and a little bit of cream.
Perfect. All right, Helen, sign us off for this thing.
Okay, he's the one and only Paul Felder. He's Dave Schmulenson. I'm Helen Yee Sports, and we're out.